Okay, now we have the raw file over in Photoshop, so let's see if we can set the white point and the black point in here. The first thing that we have to do is we have to take the background layer and we have to convert that to a layer that's workable. There's two ways of doing that. One is to do a Control J and make a copy of it. The other way is to double click on it and bring up this new layer palette, and we can leave it layer 0 or we can change the name to something else. I'll change it to base. And the reason I do that is because if we duplicate that layer, it just makes the file bigger. So we don't want to make files any bigger than we have to, especially when you're shooting a D800 and the files are already 40 meg big. So, all right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring up an adjustment layer that's called threshold. And you can do that with this little box with the squiggles in it, or you can come over here to layer and you can go down to new adjustment layer and open up the thresholds layer, and it says, what do you want to call it? Well, we're going to throw it away so we don't care what we call it. Okay, now you have this histogram and we only have black and white. It's thresholds. We get the little slider and we move it to the left, which is the dark direction, the black direction. And then we bring it back until we get the first fairly good amount of darks. And that appears to be this little area right here. We select the eyedropper tool. You push the shift key and it will turn the cursor from the little bullseye into a cross. That means we can tack something right there, and we tack a point right there and it says 0.1. Okay, that's our darkest point in the image. Come back to the threshold adjustment palette and we go all the way to the right, which is the white end, and then we start back, and because it's got so much haze in it, I'm going to go a little further and I'm going to select this area. The real light point is going to be the spinner, but I don't care if that goes totally white. We'll come down here to this the pontoon, and we'll set another eyedropper point by pushing the shift key and then clicking. There's our point number 2. Now we don't need the threshold anymore. We've done what we needed to do with it. We set the points so we know where they are. So we just click the trash can and say go away. Okay, there's our 2 points right there. There's one in this window that's the dark point, and the light point's down on the pontoon. The next thing we do is we can select the curves layer, which is right here, adjustment layer, or we can go to the layer menu and do the same thing, go curves, adjustment layer, new adjustment layer, and we'll leave it curves, doesn't matter. Then we come over here and we have 3 eyedroppers right here to the left of the histogram. The bottom one is the white one, the top one is the black one, the center one is the gray, the middle gray. We don't need that one right now. So let's select the white one, put our cursor over our marker for the whitest point in the image right here. And what I'm going to do when I click this, it's going to drag that all the way down to 0, which isn't very much in this particular case, or 255 rather. And then we come up here and we pick the black one and we put that over the little marker for the darkest and we click it. Now you're going to see a big difference. See what it did? A lot of difference. And as you notice, it moved the colors, the green and the blue and the red, and got shifted around. And what that does is that brings the saturation up and it gets rid of any color cast that's in the image. I think that's a pretty good change right there. From there to there with this. Okay, let's save this back to Lightroom and we'll go back over there and we'll look at it and see what we think. File, save. Okay, here the image is back in Lightroom, the Photoshop version. This is the Lightroom version right here, and this is the Photoshop version. Let's put them both up at the same time in comparison. Okay, the one on the left side is Photoshop, the one on the right side is Lightroom. As you can tell, there's a pretty good difference between the two. The color is better on the Photoshop version. The color cast is gone from the image, and the haze is a lot better than it was. The Lightroom version is just a little bit on the weak side. Now we can tweak that and get that up a little bit better, but why have to go to a lot of extra trouble when you can do it so simply in Photoshop? I hope you've enjoyed this and learned something from it. I intend to do some more in the future, so stay tuned.